Welcome to Listen with Yayadi. Today, I am going to tell you the incredible story of a man who was born in poverty, faced failure after failure, suffered personal tragedies, and yet became one of the greatest leaders the world has ever known. This is the story of Abraham Lincoln. On a cold winter day, February 12, 1809, in a small log cabin in Kentucky, a baby boy was born to Thomas Lincoln and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. The family was poor. They had no luxury, no wealth, and no special advantages. The tiny cabin where Abraham was born had a dirt floor and very few possessions. Life was difficult from the very beginning. As Abraham grew, his family moved frequently in search of better opportunities. They worked hard just to survive. Young Abraham spent much of his childhood helping his father clear forests, chop wood, and work on the family farm. Education was a luxury few poor families could afford, and Abraham attended school for less than a year in total. Yet he possessed something more powerful than formal education, an intense desire to learn. Whenever he found a book, he read it. Books became his closest friends. He borrowed them from neighbors and often walked miles just to obtain one. At night, after long hours of physical labor, he would sit by the firelight reading every page he could find. Sometimes there was no paper available, so he wrote notes on wooden boards and walls. Knowledge fascinated him. When Abraham was only 9 years old, tragedy struck. His mother became seriously ill and died. The loss shattered him. He loved his mother deeply, and her death left a pain that never completely disappeared. Years later, Lincoln would say that everything he was or hoped to be, he owed to his mother. Life became harder. There were days of loneliness and uncertainty. But suffering taught Abraham compassion. He understood pain, loss, and hardship because he had experienced them himself. As a young man, Abraham worked many different jobs. He split rails, farmed land, worked on riverboats, served as a store clerk, and even became a postmaster. Whatever work was available, he accepted it. Yet something about him stood out. He was remarkably honest. One famous story tells how Abraham discovered that he had accidentally overcharged a customer by a few cents. Instead of ignoring the mistake, he walked several miles just to return the money. People began calling him Honest Abe. It was a nickname he would carry throughout his life. Despite his humble circumstances, Abraham dreamed of doing something meaningful. He became interested in public affairs and politics. He listened carefully whenever people discussed government and national issues. He believed ordinary citizens deserved fair treatment and equal opportunities. At the age of 23, he ran for political office. He lost. Many people would have quit after such a disappointment. Abraham did not. He tried again, and failed again. The years that followed brought mere setbacks. He lost elections. Business ventures collapsed. Financial problems continued. At times it seemed as if success was moving farther away instead of closer. Then came another personal tragedy. A young woman named Anne Rutledge, whom many historians believe Lincoln loved deeply, died unexpectedly. The loss plunged him into deep sadness. For months he struggled emotionally. Some friends worried about his mental health. Yet Abraham continued moving forward. He understood something that many people never learned. Failure is not the end, unless you stop trying. Determined to improve himself, he began studying law. He had no law school education. Instead, he taught himself by reading legal books for countless hours. Through persistence and discipline, he became a lawyer. As a lawyer, Lincoln gained a reputation for fairness and integrity. He traveled from town to town handling cases. People trusted him because he valued truth more than winning. Sometimes he even advised clients not to pursue cases if he believed they were wrong. His reputation grew. So did his confidence. Soon, Abraham Lincoln became one of the most respected lawyers in Illinois. Meanwhile, America was facing a growing crisis. The issue was slavery. Millions of African Americans were being treated as property rather than human beings. Families were separated. Men, women, and children were bought and sold. The nation was becoming increasingly divided over whether slavery should continue. Lincoln believed slavery was morally wrong. He did not see it merely as a political issue. He saw it as a human issue. His views brought him into national attention. In 1858,
He participated in a series of famous debates with Senator Stephen Douglas. Large crowds gathered to hear them speak. Newspapers across the country reported their arguments. Although Lincoln lost the election, he gained something far more valuable. The nation learned his name. People recognized his intelligence, honesty, and moral conviction. 2 years later, in 1860, Abraham Lincoln ran for President of the United States. Many doubted him. He came from poverty. He lacked powerful family connections. He was not considered part of the political elite. Yet ordinary people believed in him. When the election results were announced, Abraham Lincoln had won.